To masterwork your weapons and armor, you're going to need a ton of enhancement cores, enhancement prisms, ascendant shards, and ascendant alloys. So in this video, I'll go over the best ways to farm these materials as a solo player. Using these methods, I've been able to hoard thousands of materials. And be sure to stick around to the end for a trick to get dozens of cores in only a few minutes. I'm Marshix and I make Destiny 2 guides for solo players. If you enjoy, all I ask for is a like on the video. Before we start, keep in mind the Cryptarch offers material conversion, so you're able to turn your enhancement cores into prisms and prisms into ascendant shards. There's also a weird trick you can do to convert them the opposite way, but I'll go over that in a few minutes. In order to masterwork legendary armor, you'll need 3 cores, 3 prisms, and 1 ascendant shard. Then for exotic armor, you need 5 cores, 5 prisms, and 3 shards. Then for weapons, you just need 17 cores. And for crafted weapons, you'll need to craft your preferred frame using 12 cores, and you'll need 1 alloy for each enhanced perk you choose. Now time to farm. But if you're going to be grinding for long periods of time, it's important to take regular breaks and eat good food. And I have something to help with that, thanks to today's sponsor. HelloFresh makes cooking delicious meals at home extremely easy. You pick whichever meals you want, then in less than a week, they'll deliver fresh, pre-measured ingredients with easy-to-follow recipes straight to your door. With foolproof, step-by-step recipes, you'll have an easy and enjoyable cooking experience. Even I was able to make these absolutely beautiful and delicious meals without any problems. This one is steak with arugula salad, and my favorite is the nacho pork burger. My main complaint with cooking is the time commitment. But luckily, HelloFresh helps cut back on time spent in the kitchen with meals ready in about 30 minutes or less. And they have a massive list of recipes to discover, like their Taste of Summer series or the new menu release, which includes Mediterranean recipes. They even have veggie, pescatarian, and fit and wholesome meals to make it easy to stick to your goals. And HelloFresh is also affordable, with meals being up to 72% cheaper than dining at a restaurant or grocery shopping. That's huge! After trying it for myself and tasting this amazing food, I definitely recommend HelloFresh. Use my link or go to HelloFresh.com and use code POGMARSHIX16 for 16 free meals across 7 boxes, plus 3 surprise gifts. Once you click, my description will live update to count up the purchases. If you eat food, you should try HelloFresh. You won't regret it. Thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video. The Gunsmith offers some of the easiest materials in the game. First, he has daily bounties that drop enhancement cores. These bounties are very easy to complete, only requiring kills with certain weapons in any activity, so you'll probably finish these without even trying. Each bounty will only give 1 enhancement core, but it's something you can easily do in the background while farming some of the other activities later in the video. Be sure to pick these up first thing every day for some extremely easy cores. Also, as you rank them up by dismantling gear, you'll get cores, golf balls, and ascendant alloys. The other tower vendors are also good for masterwork materials. Similar to the Gunsmith, these vendors will give cores and prisms as you rank them up, and they'll even give an ascendant shard on your first reset. Also, each time you pick up their engrams, they have a small chance to drop enhancement cores. You shouldn't solely focus on rank ups, but keep them in mind for later because you'll be able to work on them in the background while doing other activities on this list. If you head back to the Cryptarch, you can outright buy materials for legendary shards. You can buy 5 cores per day for 30 legendary shards each. Alloys are 400 legendary shards, but can only be purchased once per week. And enhancement prisms are also 400 shards, which is way too expensive, so don't buy these unless you're desperate. There are also a couple easy sources like this for ascendant shards too. In the season pass, you get a total of 3 at ranks 85, 90, and 94. You also get 1 free ascendant shard every season by completing the seasonal story. These obviously aren't farmable, but they're easy, guaranteed one and done sources that you can do every season. Most people think of lost sectors as a place to only farm exotics, but they're actually a pretty good source of enhancement cores too. Legend and Master lost sectors can both drop cores at an uncommon drop rate. While this won't be the fastest way to farm them, you'll be getting exotics at the same time, so you can double up on the rewards. And unlike exotic drops, you don't have to run these solo. So if you have 1 or 2 friends who also need cores, just load up a short lost sector and speedrun through it in only a few seconds. Empire hunts are also often overlooked. You can run the hero difficulty for common cores and rare prisms, and you get a match-made team. Or if you already have a team, you can run legend or master for better drop rates of those same materials, as well as a good source of high stat armor. This isn't at the top of the list, but if you're looking for high stat armor and masterwork materials, this is a great activity to farm. Trials of Osiris is one of the most rewarding activities in the game, even for solo players. All you need to do is get 7 wins on a card, whether it be flawless or not, then continue to play on that 7 win card. Each win beyond 7 will have a decent chance of dropping cores, prisms, and even ascendant shards. And as you play, you'll get a ton of rank ups from both Saint 14 and Shax, so you'll rack up a ton of loot. I know getting wins isn't easy, so if you struggle to keep around a 50% win rate, you'll want to farm this next source. But first, if you are finding this guide helpful, be sure to leave a like on the video. Nightfalls are also very rewarding. Low-level Nightfalls will drop enhancement cores and prisms, and they have matchmaking so you can easily run them as a solo player. Adept will drop them at an uncommon drop rate, and Hero will drop at a common drop rate with a rare chance of prisms. The higher levels will drop those same materials at higher rates, but you will need a team. If you're playing solo, I recommend Hero difficulty for the most loot while keeping matchmaking. Or if you do have a team and you're high enough level for it, I recommend Master difficulty for a high chance at Ascendant shards, or Grandmaster Nightfalls for a guaranteed shard and a high chance at another one, as well as tons of exotics on top of that. But don't forget, you will need to kill all champions to get the full drop rates for these rewards. Also, Nightfalls have double rewards from time to time, so if you see a notification for this, go grind it as much as possible. A good solo alternative to Grandmasters is actually dungeons. The master versions of Duality and Grasp of Avarice have a small chance of dropping prisms and Ascendant shards after every encounter. These are also farmable, so you can run them over and over for materials, as well as high stat Artifice armor with an extra mod slot. It is possible to solo these dungeons on Master, but they will require you to be a high power level and have a good bit of experience with the encounters. Ascendant alloys drop from many sources now, but the most common one is the high level campaign missions. Alloys drop from any difficulty, but the higher the difficulty, the higher the drop rates. And just like Nightfalls, you need to get platinum by killing all champions to get these to drop. Hero difficulty has matchmaking and is much faster than the others, so running these will probably be the best use of your time, but if you do have a team that can comfortably run Masters, go for that. Master Wellspring can also drop alloys, but it will require a full team of 6, and you only unlock it after reaching rank 18 in the Throne World. Catch Crash can also drop alloys, but just like Wellspring, they only drop on Master difficulty, which is only worth running if you have a full fire team. But there is another good solo-friendly activity for alloys, and that is Nightmare Containment. After completing Tier 3 of Containment, behind the final chest, you can spend Vestiges of Dread for additional rewards. This will drop haunted weapons as well as a small chance for Ascendant alloys. It does help to have others participate to speed it up and ensure you get to Tier 3, but since it is a patrol zone, you can wait until other people show up or reload the instance until you find a team who's already doing it. After grinding any of these activities for a while, you're going to be left with more prisms than you know what to do with. Since you can only hold 50 at a time, you may want to break them down into cores. To do this, you'll need a blue armor piece with 5 energy. Most of them drop at 5, or you can pull some out of collections for Glimmer. Upgrade it from level 5 to level 8. This will cost 3 enhancement cores and 1 prism, but once you dismantle it, you'll get 6 cores back, essentially turning 1 prism into 3 cores. This also works with Ascendant shards. Fully masterworking an armor piece will cost 3 cores, 3 prisms, and 1 golf ball, but it'll dismantle into 6 cores and 6 prisms. You are losing some of the value, but this is currently the only way we have to break down materials into their lesser versions. This is very helpful in situations where you're full on prisms, but you're running low on cores. Just do this trick to convert them into what you need. And unlike prisms, there's no limit to the amount of cores you can hold. This concept can also be used to store materials in your vault. When you're near the material cap, just masterwork armor that you don't care about and store it in the vault. When you eventually need it, you can dismantle that armor to get some back. Now, here's an easy way to passively get masterwork materials. You'll need a couple ghost mods. The lesser core harvest mods will give you enhancement cores for getting headshots in Crucible, killing invaders in Gambit, and defeating bosses in Strikes. The greater core harvest mods will do the same thing, but for prisms. Just throw these mods on before running those playlists, and materials will passively start to add up. Now, as promised, here's a way to get prisms extremely fast. You probably have a ton of Finest Matter Weaves. These drop randomly by dismantling legendary weapons and armor, and they stack up really fast. If you have a large supply of Finest Matter Weaves, you can head over to the moon and look for any of these locked hive chests. If you shoot one of the symbols in the wrong order, a knight will appear. Pop a Matter Weave, then kill it, and it has a very high chance of dropping an enhancement core. While the symbols reset, pop another Matter Weave, then spawn the knight again. This method will give you about 3 cores per minute, and you can do it over and over as long as you have Matter Weaves to spend. So which of these activities should you farm to get the most resources while solo? For cores and prisms, I recommend hero difficulty Nightfalls while working on Gunsmith bounties. Then for Ascendant shards, Trials is the best by far. And for Ascendant alloys, I recommend the lowest difficulty campaign missions for fast clears or Nightmare Containment, whichever you prefer. If you thought that enhancement core trick was cool, you'll want to check out this video for some other weird yet useful tricks in Destiny 2. Thanks for watching, I'm Marshix, and I'll see you next time.